Welcome to the live, April 12th, Sunday, 2026. What a way to go, huh? We are here in the midst of one of the stupidest wars the stupidest president in American history has got us into. And so we are in an interesting place in our society. The heat is on. The heat is on. Maga is in a civil war, and it is absolutely hilarious. I've never, ever seen anything quite like it, where the followers of a president in their cult of personality, with their deranged thinking about this wannabe dictator, are now fighting him tooth and nail. Because, of course, as we've tried to tell him now for at least a dozen years, he's lying to you. He's a billionaire. He doesn't care about you. And I guess it takes Trump himself to prove that. And, so it's kind of interesting to see what is going on. Before I do, though, great news. Hungary ousted one of the authoritarian Trump allies, Orban. They said, bye, see you, buddy. Bam, voted him out, even though everybody and their dog in this administration in America tried to boost him up. He was a Putin puppet, and he was a favorite of Trump, and Hegseth and J.D. Vance went over there and tried to convince the people of Hungary, keep this authoritarian, he's good. And in fact, Trump tried to bribe Hungary, interestingly enough. Isn't that fun? He said, hey, we'll give you lots of economic incentives if you keep this keep this really good guy in office. And the people of Hungary flipped Trump off, and then they ousted the authoritarian dictator wannabe. Good for you, Hungary. We're proud of you. Way to go. America, we're up next in the midterms. We, too, have work to do. So pretty interesting what's going on. And in the bad side of news, J.D. Vance failed. Of course, we knew he would. That was unfortunately, a foregone conclusion. But Trump, politics-wise, got rid of J.D. Vance now. I really don't think J.D. Vance has a chance of running for president in 2028. So, makes you wonder, is this going to give him incentive to try to pull a 25th Amendment onto Donald or not? That'll be interesting to watch. He doesn't have very much time in order to build a case and do that, though. It'll be interesting to see. The suspicion that I've heard is Trump wants Marco Rubio, and he'll set him up. And of course, Trump will want to pull all the strings still. I don't think he'll stay for a third term. If he tries that, I don't think he has the clout anymore. Trump has just gone right into the sewer with America, as I'm about to show you tonight, including many, many, many major, and I don't mean small fry like myself, I mean major MAGA podcasters. They are absolutely crucifying Donald Trump, as we'll see tonight. Fun program tonight. I've got a lot to get to, so let's get on this. But before I start, I know Iran has also put out yet another AI Lego video. And it's brutal, but it's for Pete Hegseth. They're just killing it. Let's take a look at this brand new video. Holy cow. All right. Here we go.
Yo, Pete Hegseth. This one's specially for you. You punk-ass rapist, bitch. Straight from Iran. Tattoo covered clown with that cafe ink on your arm. Think you a crusader? Nah, just a drunk infidel in a fake uniform. chanted kill all Muslims. Wasted in the hotel lobby. Sexual assault settlement in Monterey. Blocked the door, took a phone, paid her off quiet, cause Me Too was on. Now you secretary? What a joke, bro. Cheated on wives, multiple affairs, kids in the mix, family man, hell no. Handsy with women at Fox, drunk on the job, your own team say, yo, this dude toxic. Couldn't even guard Biden's inauguration, your own military said next. Book called American Crusade, dreaming holy war, but reality check. You just a failed vet, turned TV clown, slipping on your own mess. Trump picked you cause you kissed the ring, but wait, funny part ain't coming. The dude you sucking up for that secretary gig, Trump himself was Bill Clinton's top cocksucker, giving blue jobs back in the day. Real talk, you out here blowing for access, but he the original BJ queen. You thought our missiles max 2,000 kilometers? Cute, rookie mistake. We hitting the bow, worshiping Epstein Island crew, the ones who hurt the kids. Revenge for every American soul you and Trump's dirty crew oppressed and did. We taking payback for the girls you broke, the wives you broke, the Muslims you hate. Every victim screaming in the dark. Iran got you on the play. You threw everything at us, all your cards, all your might. We still operating on 10% power, laughing while you fight. We see everything, know every secret, every dirty Epstein link you hide. Where you least expected, in the shadows we ride, and no place to slide. This ain't full force, just a warm up. Persian flow with the rap. Pete, you done roasted raw. Iran sending this heat. Feel the math. Drop the mic. Infidel clown. We coming.
Ooh. Wow. Yeah. That is something else, man. That is something else. So, yes, I'm well aware that Trump is MAGA. Yes, of course. And his followers are also MAGA, some of them. Now they are leaving him in droves, and they are really having a fun time doing it. So let me get to the first real interesting clip. I've got several clips of people who analyzed through the last few weeks the various contexts and ideas of why all of a sudden Donald Trump is losing not only the war, and he's losing the AI slop war, as we see, him and his administration, but he's also losing the soul of America, his MAGA movement. Interesting. Let's take a look and see what is being said by so many different people. Let me see if I've got this. Oh, I hope I've got this. I've got enough to, nope, I don't. I must have lost that along the way. Let's do this one. Here we go. Here we go. This is quite an interesting one. Well, let's do this one. I've got so much to choose from. Okay. Listen to what Piers Morgan says. Now, Piers Morgan is not MAGA, but he is a good friend with Trump. He has been very, very supportive of Trump until this war. And, you know, once Trump's true colors show up and they do find out that he is willing to wipe out entire civilizations, that changes everything. Trump doesn't think so, but he's not smart enough to know better.
So there's an expression which goes, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And for those of you who've never heard of it before, basically what it means is if you get something which is more or less what you want, even if it's not ideal or perfect, you shouldn't be too critical about it, because the last thing you want to do is drive it away, right? Something happened recently which made me think of this, and that is this. Piers Morgan has ranted and raved at liberals, progressives, and Democrats for years who have dared to suggest that Donald Trump is a fascist or in very rare cases, compare him to the most infamous fascist in the history of the world, Adolf Hitler. And in the most recent episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored, Piers actually kind of compares Trump to Hitler. And on social media, he is increasingly critical of Trump's disastrous Iran war and predicts that the Republicans are going to get wiped out in the midterms. And we have to talk about this, as well as friend of the show and frequent Piers Morgan sparring partner, Mehdi Hassan, noting the shift in Piers's rhetoric. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks. So what made me think of this is this clip from the latest episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored, in which Piers and his guest are having a debate about Kanye West, right, who was actually banned by the British government from ever entering the United Kingdom on his, the basis of his anti-Semitic language and conspiracy theories, okay? His insane rhetoric. So with that in mind, I want you to see this clip, and then we'll unpack it. And then I've got some other things to show you just from the past 48 hours of Piers Morgan's social media feed pertaining to Donald Trump.
Statements that we've heard. Not many. We have over 30
Would you
incidents.
let Donald Trump come into this country?
Sure. Why? He's the president of the United States.
Who only 2 days ago signaled an intent to murder 90 million people in Iran.
Yeah, he said that, and it was horrific.
And you defended it.
No, I'm not defending it.
Well, a guy called Hassan Abbey responded to it by saying Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler, and you then said comparisons like this only hurt your argument. Donald Trump hasn't killed 6 million Jews, hundreds of thousands of other undesirables. Criticized Trump for the things he did because he's not Adolf Hitler, literally or metaphorically. No, he hadn't killed 6 million Jews.
Do you think he's Adolf Hitler?
No, but I've always said the suggestion is preposterous to compare the two. Right to the point, I see the President of the United States, Donald Trump, in a post on his Truth Social, signaling an intent, which he said is more likely to happen than not, to wipe out an entire civilization in Iran, 90 million people. Yeah. His words, not mine. And when I see that, I'm like, okay, sorry, that's kind of worse than Hitler, actually. If you went ahead and did that, it is worse. So all the people like me who've defended Trump, he's not Hitler, like, they're right there. He's trying to make us think maybe he is.
Yeah.
Wow. Piers Morgan, of all people, really, truly. That's astonishing, but his point is powerful. It would have also put him in league with Joseph Stalin easily and Mao Zedong real easily. So, I mean, that's the world we live in. And this is the unhinged man that we must get the 25th Amendment on, if that's feasible. I get it. It takes a 2/3 majority and all that, and it's a long, hard dueling process. I'm well aware of all that. So the problem is his followers are now seeing that rhetoric of Donald Trump. And of course, he tacoed. He always tacos because it's not about being a tough guy. It's not about defending the United States of America. I don't believe Donald Trump cares about America or Americans. His America First guffaw is obvious proof because he doesn't give a flip about America. He's always at war. And what he's doing is he's manipulating the markets. Now, that's pretty much a foregone conclusion by a lot of very serious market analysts and financial gurus and political analysts and regular Joes out there. Someone is making an enormous amount of money on this war. We hope there is enough integrity to check in on that and to completely execute justice upon those who are profiting from murdering people, innocent men, women, and children, and they worry more about money. I do have a clip about that coming up a little later tonight. So that was basically astonishing to hear Piers Morgan make that and defend against the argument. It used to be kind of a giving up of your argument if you compared anybody to Hitler. In this case, we have the first fully justified context. And unfortunately, it is the President of the United States who matches and exceeds that comparison. Wow, just that's huge. That's really huge. So let's take another look at another one that I've got. I have a lot of these to get through tonight. It'll be fun to, I'm going to save that one a little bit. I'm going to save that one a little bit. That one's fun. That one's fun. Yeah, that one's fun. This one's interesting. Let's go to this one. See what's happening here.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Shut up about that. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians. His negotiation tactic is.
Yeah. Now, see, someone even like Megyn Kelly catches it. So there's hope that the rest of Maga can catch it. The seriousness of it and the great serious problem for humanity, the entire world, hopefully if Megyn Kelly can catch it, then so can the rest of Maga. But I've got some other clips later of her that will completely leave you stymied at how absolutely rock bottom stupid she really is. It staggers the mind to see. But she's got a point. We really are tired of Donald Trump's bullshit. Really. I mean, when one of the people who actually helped nurse him into the president spot of the United States of America, Megyn Kelly, says, shut up and quit talking about that stupid shit because you've lost your credibility threatening an entire civilization. I'll tell you what, that gives the rest of us hope that we have been saying that for 12 years. Shut up, you're full of shit, Donald. And we have taken it in the teeth for that. And now they're coming around to it. That's very encouraging, right? All right, let's look at another clip. And I won't be finished with Megyn Kelly just yet, but that gives us a partial clue. And now let's go to this one. Let's go to, I've got another Lego clip. I'll hold on to that one for just a minute. Yeah, this is, again, Ben from Midas Touch. These guys have some of the best, most up-to-date news. He puts out videos every hour, really seriously, almost 24/7. This man is a Superman. He is incredible, him and his brothers.
Revenge against Donald Trump as he flapped. Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting her final revenge against Donald Trump as he flouls, as his approval drops to an all-time low. Marjorie Taylor Greene is rallying a group of former MAGA people, and she's saying Donald Trump needs to be impeached. The 25th Amendment needs to be invoked immediately. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is implying that Donald Trump is going to be gone very soon. And she says that we need to make sure that all of the stuff that he is doing is stopped because he is crushing future generations. And she says that he is not the same person that I knew. And
now there's a very important context, and I get it. There's a lot of people who don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You don't have to in order to appreciate her stance at this point. What caused her to flip was Trump behind the scenes with the Epstein files, of all things. Listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, there's no way to exaggerate the significance of her getting Donald Trump into the White House. She was one of the top 3 powerhouses who got him there. Really? And he, of course, rewarded her and put her in the cabinet. Well, when she balked on the Epstein files, he took her behind closed doors and he said, damn you, it's going to hurt a lot of my friends if you expose those files. Knock it off. Don't do it. And that opened her eyes. And now here she is. It's, again, you know, the crazy thing about all of this is it all goes back to the Epstein files, and we're not forgetting them. We're not. Iran with their Lego videos are not going to let the world know that the Epstein files are forgotten. The whole world knows who's in those and what happened. And Donald Trump doesn't have a chance. He will get justice one way or the other because of his vile, sinful crimes against humanity, both in war and in peace, right? Because he's a vile sexual pervert. That's what he is. I'm just stating the obvious. So let's see what Marjorie Taylor Greene says. This is quite interesting. She's really taken a new look.
And he needs to be removed immediately. And she's just been relentless with it. In the past 12 hours or 24 hours, she's been doing interview after interview, basically saying that this guy has got to go immediately. Here's what she's posting. She said, regarding all this polling that Donald Trump should be impeached and the 25th Amendment invoked, she goes, it didn't have to be this way, but going to war in Iran for Israel and things like driving the cost of gas to $4 a gallon nationally and the cost of beef higher per pound than minimum wage has consequences. Put America first and do what you promised. That's in response to a poll that over half of the Americans and half of the American people want Congress to impeach this guy immediately. She then says that the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. And then she says Trump was elected to go to war against America's deep state and end America's involvement in foreign wars, not to kill an entire civilization while waging a foreign war on behalf of Israel, another country. Then she went on Alex Jones and she said Donald Trump has changed. People need to open up their eyes. He is not the same person he was. I always thought the guy was absolutely horrible, but here's what Marjorie Taylor Greene says. Play this clip.
The truth is, look, you may have supported President Trump for 10 years like I did, like you have, but this is not the same man. This is not the same man that we supported. And he is not doing the things.
More for Marjorie Taylor Greene here. Just unloading on Donald Trump. Let's play it.
Because President Trump is soon to be the past. And everyone needs to learn to start looking past him. President Trump is going to be gone very soon. And we have to build a future for our children and our grandchildren. And that's the part that's most important to think about. And the way I think it needs to be going forward is we have to recognize what a failure the Republican Party is. We have to be willing to step outside political boundaries and go, what type of leaders do we really want? And for me, it's America first. I want moral America first leaders that will put the American people first instead of their own interest or their friends or whatever disgusting things they're doing, which is sadly the case. But I think that is where the future is going. And Republicans are going to get killed in the midterms. I've been saying it for a long time. It's going to be a bloodbath. And you know what? It shouldn't happen. It wasn't supposed to be that way, but so be it. You can't blame people for refusing to want to vote for a party that has failed them over and over and over again.
Yeah. And that is from the woman who was pure Republican, pure MAGA, and pure in favor of Donald Trump. And because he revealed behind closed doors to her his real self, and that did change him. That really did change him. When he really recognized that he ran on the promise, yes, I'm going to expose the Epstein files, and then he didn't, that's when the Americans began demanding. No one louder, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm happy to be proven wrong, no one has been louder to get the Epstein files exposed than MAGA, because they thought, aha, we'll get Bill Clinton. Yes, we'll get Bill and Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Give us the Epstein files. When apparently they didn't realize that Trump is in the Epstein files more than all of the other bad Democrats that MAGA wants to crucify, than all of the others combined. Trump is the worst offender. And the Republicans aren't doing a thing about it. This is why Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying the Republicans as a party needs to die. And she is actually, not my words, I'm just saying, Greene is putting together a coalition, a group to replace the Republicans. Now, I really hope that we all understand as Americans that we need to replace the goddamn Democrats too. They're useless. They are complicit in this. I am not saying because the Republicans are shit, and they are, for you and I, that the Democrats are glorious. Oh, hell no. No and hell no. I am not saying that. I'm sick of both of them. So that's a fascinating situation. So let's keep going. I've got a lot more I got to get through, and some of this is really funny. Some of it's serious. I mean, it's all serious, right? It's all fun and games until someone gets into politics. So let's see. We've got Piers Morgan through and all that. Okay, that one I want to do last if I can help it, because that is, oh, and that, well, okay, here's, it's hard to contextualize these guys unless you've been watching them a lot, right? So here's one from Nick Fuentes. Now, Nick is like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Total blood red MAGA. Really. Nick Fuentes has been one of the supreme great all-time most popular, most powerful, most influential influencer on YouTube of them all, rivaling even Sean Ryan. Nick Fuentes. This is not small news I'm about to give to you. You probably already know all this, right? I'm not giving you anything new. Maybe I've got a clip or two that you haven't heard about this. From Nick Fuentes' point of view, let's see what he says. This is shocking. This is mind-boggling, but I'm with him all the way. All right, you ready? Let me. Okay.
And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think you are. You are, and honestly, and if you watch my show, you know I've been very critical. I've never been this far. This just goes to show this entire thing has been a scam. When we look back on the history of populism in America, we are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. The MAGA supporters were had. They were. And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat. You are a...
Wow. I'm just saying. Wow. One of the only ones who has turned out of MAGA to say the liberals were right. Now, I don't have an analogy to give you of how big of a turnaround this. I truly don't. But if you're at all up on this, that just blows my mind. Nick Fuentes, the ultra MAGA Trump supporter, says, F you, you stupid fat effer. You're not smart, you're not funny, you're not cute, and you damn sure are not a good leader. This is a scam. Wow. Okay. Nick Fuentes. MAGA, if you have a bitch, take it up with Rick. I double dog dare you. Go ahead and try to talk to him. See how far you get. See if you can convert him back to MAGA. I'll bet you can't. It's amazing. Now, and this doesn't mean, and there's something that MAGA in its simplicity can't comprehend. So I'm going to try to clear the road here for you. Just because Nick Fuentes says MAGA is the scam, which it is, and that Donald Trump is a fake, which he is, does not mean the Democrats are good, even though, astonishingly enough, Nick Fuentes is saying he's going to vote Democrat next time. That's interesting. Apparently, it's the lesser of two evils now. The greater evil is the Republicans and Trump and MAGA, according to Fuentes. I'm just sharing his stuff. This is the MAGA civil war. I'm not in it. I'm just simply reporting. And it's incredible to see. So, okay, let's keep going here. That's one of the Fuentes ones. I've got another Fuentes. I don't want to give it to you right now, though. I want to try to give, okay, if any of you know, again, and I get it because MAGA is so stuck on the idea of personality as the basis for truth and reality. That's where they've been brainwashed and they've lost their critical thinking skills. They can get it back if they care to, but it's going to take some work, really. I'm not joking. Tucker Carlson is another one who has turned. Now, understand this. Tucker Carlson is absolutely one of the giants. The guy's got 5.5 million subscribers. He's very well known. He's powerful. But he used to be full-blown MAGA Trump. Now, just because I'm utilizing Tucker Carlson's words against Donald Trump in this civil war of MAGA does not mean I like Tucker Carlson either. I don't necessarily like any of these guys who have switched sides because every one of them have a lot of problems that they still need to overcome. I'm well aware of Tucker Carlson's utterly heinous lying in order to try to convince the rest of us who knew better that the 2020 election was stolen, and he either invented sources or he kept sources away to try to prove the case, and it utterly backfired on him. He lied like hell and deceived America that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump when we know better. So that's who we're dealing with. On the other hand, he has finally woke up. It's sad that it took a complete maniac to threaten to destroy an entire civilization before so many MAGA people woke up and opened their eyes to the evil that we are embroiled in right now. But I'm glad they're opening their eyes. So for what it's worth, here's Tucker Carlson. Oh, and this is from, I know there's some people who do not like Kyle Kulinski. That's tough luck. This guy is an agnostic atheist. He speaks his mind. He swears a lot. If you don't like swearing, I guess that's your problem you have to iron out with. Kulinski makes some fabulous points here about Tucker Carlson's turnaround. And that's why I want to use this, because this is the world we live in. And because of the nature of the way Donald Trump has handled our nation, there are consequences. The way MAGA has helped inspire and build up and worship Donald Trump, their Lord, God, and Savior. I know MAGA doesn't like me saying that. That's tough. We know that's what you're doing. You can't lie to us anymore. There's evidence all over the place that happens. We have to see the consequences. Kyle Kulinski brings him out in as clear a way as anyone I have ever heard.
So the day has finally arrived, y'all. The day has finally arrived. It looks like Tucker Carlson has officially, completely now broken up with Donald Trump. Now, that's a welcome thing to see, because to this point, he would never criticize him by name. He might criticize some of his policies or have somebody on to attack him by proxy in one of his interviews, but he would never criticize him by name. He would always soft pedal his criticisms, and then he'd always load everything he says with a bunch of throat clearing and like, oh, I actually love the president. Nobody can get me to not love the president and all that stuff, right? But now it appears like it's irreparable, and he sees the writing on the wall. He sees Trump's approval rating collapsing. He sees, and
if I can interject real quick before Kyle gets to his main point, make no mistake about it, in virtually any and every poll except the pure core MAGA poll, the small nucleus of personality cult syndrome that MAGA has, every poll shows Donald Trump is the lowest polling president in American history on virtually every issue. So Kulinski's not just talking fart in the wind here. That's real. Okay, let's go to his main point here. Very interesting how he puts this.
he sees from a relatively neutral observer perspective, he realizes this is a catastrophe, right? Like what's happening, the illegal war in Iran, the fucking war crime after war crime, the threats of nuclear annihilation. Like this is like nobody can actually support this, right? Like you have to be just fucking demonic to support this. So he came out on his show. He did a whole like long monologue. And like I said, he kind of officially breaks up with him. Now, a lot of these clips, it'll be the first time I'm seeing them. I saw some of them, but not all of them. So we're going to watch this together. But my understanding is, we'll find out if this is true, he's now gone hardcore in the direction of, oh, Trump actually thinks he's God. And Trump is like basically sacrilegious and fucking, defiling Christianity and the Bible and everything holy because.
Now, before you make fun of it, just hang on. Before you get all excited and Twitter-pated about the idea of Tucker Carlson saying that Trump has become unholy, he is blaspheming God, etc. A large part of MAGA feels that Trump has been anointed by Jesus Christ himself to do this war. Now, nowhere in the New Testament can you find Jesus calling for the annihilation of a human civilization. That's what's turning MAGA. And so this is a horrific stress and strain on MAGA. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes because they're having to try to figure out who now is their true God, Trump or Jesus. You think I'm kidding, don't you? I'm not kidding. Tucker Carlson kind of lays that out. Now, not only him, but there are lots of MAGA. Alex Jones is another one. Seems like there was another one that called out. They are saying now that Trump has become demonically possessed, really seriously, without any sense of irony it's breathtaking. This is truly a civil war of not only physical dimension, but spiritual dimension to the MAGA cult personality syndrome group of people. They're in a cult. They can't help it. They worship their leader. He is their God. The problem is Trump's God is Baal, the god of money. That's all Trump wants. It's quite a conundrum to be in if you're a MAGA person, right? So we can have maybe a little empathy for him. Let's listen to what Tucker Carlson says.
Because he views himself in a malignant narcissist way, like he's God and like there are no consequences that apply to him. And so he really takes like a religious angle on this. And by the way, that makes sense because I expect after Trump, I expect MAGA to just become an openly Christian nationalist movement. Like that's the logical evolution. Still white nationalism at the core, but also a Christian nationalism and an uber religiosity to it, right? And Right now, it's the cult of Trump is like the best way to describe it. And so Tucker is using that to say, hey, maybe this guy is like actually genuinely evil in a biblical sense. All right, so let's watch. Here we go.
You can't say you didn't know. Your president just told you on television, we took out their president because we want his oil. And at that point, you're an accessory to the crime, whether you want to be or not. And it's at that point that a lot of people should have spoken up and said, I'm out. Not that I hate Trump or don't like his entire program. Lots of things about it I love. I'm grateful. I'd maybe vote for him again, but I can't support theft.
Oh, that's so cucked. So cucked. I thought you were totally breaking up with him. What happened?
Because it's immoral. But they didn't. You can't say you didn't know.
Look, on the overall point, I agree. You can't support us committing brazen theft, stealing natural resources, and taking the money and putting it in a private bank account as Trump did. But Tucker, you did. Like, you literally did. When he kidnapped Maduro and then stole the oil from Venezuela and sold it and put that money in a private bank account of his own in Qatar, hundreds of millions of dollars, you were standing at the White House clapping for him as he came in after the Venezuela fucking...
Yeah. Yeah. So, this brings up a real sticky question. I'm just asking the question. Is MAGA complicit with these consequences, and are they all liable? Because they supported this war criminal and mass murderer. There was 178 fishermen on those boats that Donald Trump murdered under the pretext of them being drug runners, and then he stole their oil, and then he sold their oil, and then he put the money in a private account in Qatar that only he can access. And MAGA supported him. Wow. International lawyers are going to become filthy rich on all of these illegal things that Donald Trump and MAGA have been working on as they have supported him. Going to be fascinating. The next 20 years legally is going to be fascinating. Let's keep going, though. We're not done yet.
Crime. And so you were clapping for him and supporting him at the time. Now all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, wait, yeah, brazen theft of natural resources is bad and wrong? It's bad and wrong? Yeah, it is. And every single leftist in the country was telling you that, and you were cheering on Trump as he did it. All right, more.
Maybe some did, but certainly the leaders of the American Christian churches, by and large, said absolutely nothing. And maybe because they said nothing, this accelerated. These are the same people who sort of didn't notice somehow that on Inauguration Day, the president did not take his oath of office with his hand on the Bible. His wife stood next to him holding it.
I kind of vaguely remember that.
I do too. I do too. You know, to this day, there are MAGA people who deny that. They say, no, our Lord God and Savior put his hand on that holy book. No, he did not. That was a controversy. Yeah. Wow. Let's keep going.
I kind of vaguely remember that. He didn't put his hand on the Bible, and there were a bunch of liberals and lefties like, that's kind of curious.
I was about 15 feet away and saw it, but he did not put his hand on the Bible. And that should have been maybe a clue that we need to pause and think about, what is this? Why wouldn't you put your hand on the Bible? If you don't believe in the Bible, you think it's just a book, there's no cost to you to putting your hand on it, just kind of following the protocol, going along with the tradition. All presidents do it. Why aren't you doing it? And you're not doing it intentionally. You're choosing not to put your hand on the Bible when you take that oath. That suggests not that you don't believe it's real, because if you didn't believe it was real, why would you care? You'd put on the costume and take it off. Doesn't matter. That suggests you know it is real and you're rejecting it intentionally. You know what you're doing and you're doing it anyway. But nobody asked questions about that either. It seemed kind of inappropriate, given the celebration then in progress, to ask, why wouldn't you put your hand on the Bible when you take the oath of office to lead our nation? But pretty much nobody did. I didn't. I'll admit that. I saw it and didn't say one word. Bothered me ever since.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with Kyle on that. Bullshit. It didn't bother you at all. What is bothering Tucker Carlson is when he came to the realization of the absolute gross immorality of Donald J. Trump in wanting to wipe out an entire civilization of innocent people. Thank you for paying attention to these important matters. Yeah. At least he came around somewhat.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, yeah, that's the thing that bothered you. Not the, I don't know, massacring 130 fishermen in the Caribbean for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Shoving people into concentration camps in El Salvador where they get tortured and raped.
Yeah.
That didn't bother you. Having anti-ICE protesters get shot in the face in broad daylight. That wasn't the thing. It was, he didn't put his hand on the Bible.
Right around January.
Now, that is an absolutely powerful point. And damn it, I'm going to emphasize that. How long have we, the non-MAGA, been telling you brainwashed people in this country and in the world, and Donald J. Trump, of the absolute heinous evils he has been committing, and you've been ignoring us, saying we have Trump derangement syndrome, when that thing in office was murdering people, raping people, stealing them blind, etc., breaking every commandment of your beloved holy book, you hypocrites, you cowards who wouldn't call him out on it. And now he didn't put his hand on the Bible, so there must be something wrong. Oh, come on. The MAGA hypocrisy is as sickening as the Trump smell of his farts and his words and his lies. And we all know it. Nice that some MAGA influencers are now beginning to learn it, but you're a little late to the party. Okay, let's keep going, because these are very important points.
4th, it became clear that maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he affirmatively rejects what's inside that book. And what's inside that book are limits on human behavior.
Well put. Very well put. I like that, quite frankly. That's the Bible in a thumbnail. Yeah, very good. There are limits to human behavior. But Donald Trump, not having ever read the Bible, won't know what those limits are. And therefore, he thinks he can do anything he wants. So, yeah.
Because if there's one theme that spans all 66 books in the Christian Bible, it's that you are not God. And you cannot assume his powers. Because you don't have them. You may convince yourself you have them. You may want them. You may have been promised them. But in the end, they're not yours. And you'll never have them. And you can only destroy yourself and the people around you by pretending that you do. That is the consistent message that spans from Genesis to Revelation.
And I'm going to disagree with him, but that's another video. That's the Christian interpretation. There are other views, but he makes a good point, because that is how Donald Trump acts, and he couldn't be more wrong. And the MAGA people who are brainwashed and deranged from Trump personality syndrome don't recognize that.
And people who ignore that law are punished, just like people who ignore gravity or freezing temperatures are punished, because these are laws that were not created by people. They supersede people. But on January 4th, when the President of the United States told us he was stealing, that our country was stealing something that didn't belong to us.
And he's talking about the oil theft here. He seems to be saying that Trump quite literally thinks he's God. Hey, again, I've heard liberals and lefties point this out from the very beginning, that when we say malignant narcissist, we mean it. And that's effectively saying the same goddamn thing. He's not.
Right. Now, the interesting thing, and I'm going to emphasize this too, we call Trump a malignant narcissist because he thinks he's God. And we are accused of having Trump derangement syndrome because of it. Well, now you have another very prominent MAGA guy saying the same thing and showing how Trump's entire way of life is anti-Bible. But that's okay. If Trump is your God, he doesn't have to be pro-Bible. You're still going to believe everything he says. And therefore, you have Trump personality derangement syndrome. We're not the ones deranged. Trump and his followers are. Notice how they try to turn it on you. I had a guy write in my chat, the first chat message here. Hey, BYP, you may want to check yourself in for Trump derangement syndrome. My advice is to you maggots is you might want to check yourselves in for Trump personality cult derangement syndrome because your God is losing the war. And he's not going to be around for very much longer either. Okay, let's keep going. This is really quite an exquisite, interesting Tucker Carlson confession and an analysis by Kyle.
Done. He continues here.
It's hard to believe that's real. That is so vile. It's such a sacrilege. Standing in front of American flags in the White House with some kind of beta evangelical leader nodding along as you liken the president of the United States to Jesus, the Christian Messiah, God in human form.
Yeah.
How could you say something like that? How could the rest of us sit by and not protest when she said something like that? How could...
We did protest. And we've been accused of being the deranged ones for protesting. Tucker Carlson has a very good point here. Really true. No wonder Maga hates him now. I get it. I really do. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be real interesting to see what the children and grandchildren of the poor MAGA cult personality deranged syndrome holders, it'll be real interesting to see what their posterity thinks of them. I don't envy your position. I really don't. Fearful. Okay, let's keep going.
Any Christian watch that and not feel revulsion? Well, because people didn't pay attention or they didn't think about it. Oh, it's just the praise that Trump demands. Fine. Not the first vain president, not the first vain leader, that's for certain. But to compare him or any president to Jesus has got to be a deal killer. That is the end. You cannot allow that in good faith. If you're a Christian, you have to say no to that. Doesn't matter.
Well, there you go. Since none of the maggots said no to that, that just shows they're not really Christian. There's your answer. It's a hard answer, but give me any other conclusion to come to. Sincerely. Donald Trump, and it's on video, man. You can't say we're just deranged and we're just making stuff up because we hate Donald Trump. No, you can't say that. It's on video. They recorded it, man, when that happened. So if you didn't protest such a vile, heinous comparison between the Holy Lord Jesus Christ and a child rapist, then I really don't think you deserve to be called Christian. I think Tucker Carlson's spot on there. Truly. Very powerful. Just, wow. I'm just saying.
Matter whether you voted for Trump, campaigned for Trump across many states, defended him for 10 years, still like him, doesn't matter.
You cannot. So okay, even when he's saying like this guy thinks he's God, but he's actually the Antichrist, he can't. Like, I still like him. I still like the Antichrist.
Compare a president, a secular president of the United States, or anybody, any human being to Jesus.
By the way, there is something to be said here about the fact that Trump allegedly, reportedly, after some of the assassination attempts, right? Like genuinely thought like, oh, maybe I'm like divinely picked, right? Because, hey, you survived multiple assassination attempts. Although, you know, I think there's some reasonable questions around that Butler, Pennsylvania one, if I'm being honest with you. There's a lot of talk on social media about that. There's a lot of anecdotal things, circumstantial things people point to like, that doesn't quite make sense. Why are they ushering in the fucking photographers at the exact right time? And why is the flag being lowered at the exact right time? And why?
Yeah, and I have a clip. If I get to it, I don't know. I'm going to be several hours here tonight. I don't mean to be, but on the other hand, I do mean to be. But I actually do have a clip, again, of another really, really prominent, really seriously prominent MAGA influencer who has turned away from Donald Trump, Tim Dillon, and he's calling for Trump to just confess how you faked that assassination, because you did fake it. Interesting. And the sad thing is, there really were people killed that day, but nobody talks about them. What about their families? You see, it's always Trump, Trump, Trump. It's never anyone else. There's no empathy for anyone anymore. And that's a very sad state of affairs. So, yeah, let's keep going, though, because I think this is really interesting.
Why is there really not any fucking scar on his ear? So, like, there's a longer conversation to be had there, but there was reporting that he genuinely thought, like, oh, maybe I'm actually God, or I'm picked by God. And so to have all of these fundamentalist evangelical Christian psychopaths, all of them Zionists, by the way,
Yep.
basically telling him, like, yeah, no, that's right. Like, we actually think you're, like, biblical. You're holy. A lot of fundamentalist Jews also think the same thing, that he's helping to fulfill biblical prophecy. The Mike Huckabee types, the Christians who believe in the rapture, like, they think he's a transformative figure who's going to usher in the return of Jesus. So there is a lot of weird religious stuff that's tied into this, because people have some fucking creepy ass beliefs. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump himself has convinced himself in one way or another that he is sort of like divinely inspired and chosen. And like, that's why he's back in this position that he's in. Like, I actually think there's a legitimate point to be made there. All right, Tucker continues here.
And we should always remember that what we do will be done to us. Live by the destruction of civilian infrastructure. Live by the killing of children, the bombing of elementary schools and colleges. And you will die, and your children will die by those same things.
Unironically, that's exactly right. And it's kind of crazy to me how it's literally like less than 1% of people on the right have ever thought about that. Like, they just don't think, what if the shoe's on the other foot? Like, what if other people do to us what we do to them? They just don't think about it. They don't care. They think we're special. We're the good guys. We get to do bad things, and it doesn't count as bad things. And so there you have it. They end up cheering fucking bombing a little girl's school, or deflecting and obfuscating and pretending like we're not doing that. They defend Israel doing that. I mean, how many times we've seen this time and time and time again? Things that we thought nobody would ever defend, and they're out there defending it.
That's just a fact. That's
And the flip side of that, I did a video on showing Netanyahu bombing a funeral while it was going on in a cemetery during the ceasefire. I really don't even have the vocabulary to describe how evil that is. The word evil, it just has no power to it with that particular action. And if Israel are the chosen people, they gave that up, becoming genocidists in Gaza, and now pursuing it in Palestine, Lebanon, etc. That was Yahweh's, the Old Testament gods in the book of Joshua, Judges, etc. That was his approach. But Jesus Christ has come since then, and supposedly the Christians in MAGA cannot possibly be supporting that kind of genocide. If you are, then no swear word, but God damn you, because that's your future. I'm just saying. Man. Whew. Mercy. Okay. I didn't think this was this long. I have so much more of this. I will leave a link if I can remember to. I've got about 30 tabs open here. Well, 15 that I want to get to and touch on. But I will try to leave a link to this, because this is one of Tucker Carlson's best. And I get it. There's people in MAGA who love to pretend they're holier than thou and that Tucker Carlson is a traitor and that he's not loyal, etc. And once again, I'd just like to remind everyone here in the United States of America, it has never, ever, there's nothing in the Constitution, which is the law of our land. There really is nothing in the Constitution that says Americans have to be loyal to the president. No, it's loyalty to the Constitution and to the Bill of Rights. That's where our loyalty belongs. So, I have been called a traitor, which is false, in my opinion, because I am trying to be loyal to the Constitution, and that causes me to recognize the domestic enemy in our White House who is ignoring the Constitution. That's the tough part about all of this, right? Okay, so let's look at some others in this MAGA civil war, because make no mistake about it, Tucker Carlson is definitely, and I've got some more with Tucker Carlson. Let's do, is this the one or is this the one? Well, we just saw Tucker, so let's not do him again. Hold up. And I just watched him. Okay, this is pretty good too. Yeah, this one's good too. I like this guy, Mike Nellis. He's really good. Let's take a listen. I want to make sure you can see it. Okay, yeah, I've got it on. Okay, here we go.
MAGA is dead, declared Nick Fuentes after Donald Trump released an unhinged rant on Truth Social, attacking Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and all these MAGA influencers who are not supporting Donald Trump's illegal war in Iran. It just goes to show you that Trump's presidency and the movement that got him elected is collapsing all around him. And he's panicked. Trump is lashing out at everybody, including his friends. Let's dive in. And before I hit play on this video of Nick Fuentes, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Help us build an independent media company that can hold these MAGA influencers, these politicians like Trump accountable. We need people like you to stay engaged in this fight if we're going to take our country back.
But that's your post. Trump, Mr. Golden Age, America first, no new wars, mass deportations. He writes a 500-word screed putting down by name Megyn Kelly, Candace Tucker, Marjorie Greene, Alex Jones. And why? Because they don't want to go to war with Iran. That's crazy.
I would like to point out something too. And this is something perhaps that MAGA, being so unfortunately brainwashed and having the Trump personality cult derangement syndrome in their blood, don't recognize that there has never been any other president in the entire history of the United States who has acted like this as Trump has. We have a man-child in the White House. He is so immature. He is so, well, immature is about wraps it up. He's an idiot. I'm being charitable, I promise. I really am, I promise. Yeah, his marriage is fake. Right? Oh, anyway. Let's keep going. This is Nick Fuentes, which is one of these serious MAGA people. Very interesting.
He's right. It is absolutely crazy that Donald Trump is turning on his own friends because they have a disagreement with him on the war that he created, this entire crisis that he manufactured in Iran. And I'll once again remind it, because every time I hear the phrase golden age, there is no golden age in America right now. And I want to make that very clear, because the average person is reporting that they can't pay their mortgage. And the average person is worried about rising gas prices because of this war. People were already stretched so thin. And they don't want our sons and our daughters and our brothers or sisters sent over to this illegal and immoral war. And it is crazy to me that I am sitting here watching a video of Nick Fuentes make sense to me, because Fuentes is not an ally. Fuentes is a racist and a sexist and an anti-Semite. But here we are right now because Donald Trump has so thoroughly upended American politics. He has so thoroughly gone off the rails that I continue to watch videos of people like Fuentes and Alex Jones and Candace Owens. And I go, yeah, they're making a lot of sense to me. And that is a very odd place for me to be in.
Like,
that is the best description of what I was trying to say earlier. Just because I'm quoting these guys doesn't mean I'm on their side. You know, I get it. Yeah. Isn't it crazy, though, that because of the way Donald Trump is leading the country in the most lousy way imaginable, that he's actually driving together really odd fellows together that we would have never seen eye to eye before? Now, this gives me hope because this is telling me, in some respects, that all of us here in America, we really do have a conscience of our hearts for humanity. And that's why I say, you know, once again, we all have more in common together than we do with the billionaires, because the billionaires don't care about humanity. I saw something the other day that just blew my mind. The billionaires are causing the wars in order to control the human population. Rather than working together and finding ways to live together peacefully and learn how to grow enough food and to clean enough water so that we can all flourish, they would rather murder billions in order to keep the resources from dwindling. That the word evil just falls so flat for that philosophy, doesn't it? I mean, really. The billionaires are not your friends, MAGA. Really. I'm not trying to, you know, make you feel bad or hurt your feelings or anything, but you really got to wake up. Really. Immediately. Let's keep going, though. This is quite remarkable.
Like, think about that sentence. How insane is that? Tucker is like a full-blown Hitler worshiper. Honestly, the blood guilt is a little extreme for me. You know, Tucker seems to be like, I don't know, he seems to be like a Marcionite. And I don't even know if he's against blood guilt, because it seems like he just hates Jews in Israel too much, even for me.
And again, like, these guys are all crazy, okay? Like, but listen to what Nick Fuentes just said. Like, he's criticizing, he's basically a self-described fascist, okay? He said all kinds of pro-Nazi stuff before he marched in Charlottesville. And even he's saying, like, wow, I think Tucker Carlson might be too anti-Semitic for me. Like, it's just, this entire movement is absolutely collapsing. And I'm going to keep covering these horrible, horrible people, because they're the ones who are guiding the direction of this country right now, because they're the ones that got these people in control. They're the ones that people in the White House listen to. And Trump is lashing out at the ones who are not being sufficiently pro-Trump enough for him, as he declares that MAGA is a party of one man. It's a movement of one man, which we've all known for a long time. But it's crazy to me to watch in real time as this movement just completely fragments and falls apart.
And I agree with him on another basis, too. The rest of us, which really is the majority of Americans, are smarter than the MAGAs. And so we're not going to let them dictate the direction of our country. Whether they worship the man in the White House as their Lord, God, and Savior or not, I'm not ever going to base my decisions on what a book written by a maggot or by someone in Trump's administration says. I'll read the book, but I won't follow the instructions, because I know automatically that they're wrong, because these people, unfortunately, are diseased with the Trump cult personality derangement syndrome. So they can't help it. So they can't possibly have the best picture for us. And so that's good information to know. It really is. So, yeah, it's a fascinating way that this is working. Let's look at another clip here that I think is also really interesting. Oh, and we did the Piers Morgan. I wanted to make sure. This one is, well, it seems like we're talking a lot about, oh, here's the one. Here's the one that just blows my mind. Yeah, just when we think we're making progress with helping the maggots see the light, and they are, make no mistake about it, at least they're more intelligent influencers on YouTube are, as I'm showing you, the Alex Joneses, even though I can't stand that scum, Megyn Kelly. We're going to talk about Megyn Kelly right now, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Tim Dillon, those. Let's take a look at this. This is just mind-boggling. This is horrifying because we saw that earlier clip of Megyn Kelly where she said, Trump, just shut up. We're sick of your shit, right? Well, now look at what she says.
Kelly somehow on a regular basis finds a way to hit a disgusting new low. And this time is no different. Now, before I get to that, her disgusting new low, let's start with how she's been trying to sort of branch out and rebrand herself a little bit and pick a different lane ski because, to this point, she's basically been a doctrinaire right-winger. Actually, when she first got into this new media world, she was herself for a while. She was, and herself is like very independent centristy type, right-leaning, but independent centristy. She breaks with orthodoxy more than you would think. But then what happened was when she did that, everybody hated her. Everybody was yelling at her in the comments. And people didn't want to hear that. At the time, they wanted to hear nothing but Trump sycophancy. And so then she was like, okay, if this is what you idiots want, I'll give it to you. And then she became a fucking 24/7 Trump meat rider, fucking riding penis to the point where Trump literally called her out about it on stage and said, Megyn Kelly, she was nothing. All of a sudden, she seems to like Trump a lot. Now, all of a sudden, she's the new hot thing. He clocked her, dog, on air during a rally. This was back during the campaign. In this moment, she also sees the writing on the wall. Mark Levin, The Daily Wire, Laura Loomer, these types of people, nobody wants to hear their shit. Nobody wants to hear fucking rah-rah cheerleading for endless war and bombing little girls' schools and shit like that. So there's been a breakdown in the MAGA mediaverse where there's also this other lane. There's the Candace Owens type lane. There's the Nick Fuentes type lane. There's the Tucker Carlson type lane. And she has more cut in that direction. For a while, she tried to play mediator. I'm going to sit on the fence between you two camps. Now she's like, fuck it. I'm more on that side. Okay, I'm more on this side. Well, because of that, it now opens up the door to, be a little more critical of Trump. It opens up the door to go after assholes like Mark Levin, who she calls Micro Mark, accusing him of having a micro penis. Trump literally came out and defended Mark to say, actually, he doesn't have a micro penis. I don't know what you're talking about. Turns out he's doing fine down there. I'm not.
That was hilarious. If you've never seen that argument with those guys, oh my gosh. I never laughed so hard in my life.
Kidding. Well, he didn't say that, but he was defending Mark Levin, and it's kind of hilarious because obviously Mark Levin cried to Trump to go out there and fucking defend him, and Trump did. And the other day, somebody was going after Mark Levin on Twitter, and they called him Micro Mark also, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't know why I'm making him sound like Trump. He was like, oh yeah, I'm not Micro Mark, you're Banana Ben. So it's like, okay, your dick is small, you got a micro dick. Oh yeah, well your dick is huge. These people are not serious. And by the way, these are the ones who are murdering an entire civilization in Iran. But I digress. So here's Megyn Kelly with this new lane that she carved out for herself, and she's saying stuff like this. Let's watch.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
Talking about Trump.
I mean, honestly, the president, 388, yes, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy and to not freak out over his weird social media posts and language that is loose and incendiary.
And it turns out liberals and leftists were right about fucking everything all along. And that's what you should be saying in this next sentence.
Truly, I've lived with it for 10 plus years. I learned it the hard way when I was on the receiving end of it for 9 months. And truly, I think that was a gift to me in many ways because it helped me really come to understand what he does with his social media.
It's like Stockholm Syndrome. He abused me. He said I had blood coming out of my wherever. He harassed me, and his people did, and they threatened me, and that made me fall in line. I healed. I healed like an obedient little dog. Oh my God.
But this is completely irresponsible and disgusting. This is wrong. It's wrong. He should not be doing it. I don't care that it's his negotiation tactic is to kill an entire country full of civilians, men, women, and children, an American president, so that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened? It's just wrong. It's not hard to say it. It's not hard to recognize it. I wish he would stop doing this. Like, he can't negotiate without doing this. What does that say about him? What does that say about the position that our country is in right now in these negotiations? He's got to say this. He can't be a dignified, strong leader without threatening a bunch of war crimes.
So you watch that and you go, okay, nice. Yeah, totally reasonable. I'm with it. That makes sense. This is like the same fucking week. The same week we get this.
Trump could drop a nuke and I'd still vote Republican over those people because they want to
Avenue voter.
So on the one hand, Megyn Kelly says it is absolutely wrong. It's evil. Shut up about this shit, about wiping out a civilization. And then she turns around and she says, Trump could drop an atomic bomb and I would vote Republican. I would still vote Republican. And they are the ones that are entirely supporting Donald Trump to wipe out the civilization in the first place. The world we live in, folks. Wow, you can't make this script up. I really don't have the ability to describe her approach. Stupid is so flat compared to what it really is. Wouldn't you agree? So anyway, that's Megyn Kelly. But the interesting thing is, it is the extremity of Trump that is causing this severe disconnect with the most influential MAGA influencers in the world right now. And so the one thing that very precious few of them are doing is, with their talking points that they're bringing up now, is the same ideas that the liberals have been telling them for 12 stinking years. And they're not giving the credit there. They're sounding like liberals. And it's the moral way to be. That's why they're arriving at these conclusions. Because the liberals, following the liberality of the Christ, whether they know it or not, are the more moral part of humanity rather than the conservatives. That's astonishing, isn't it? Wow, there's an eye-opener for you. And isn't it fascinating? I start talking about the liberals and 30 people ran out the door. Oh, God. Again, Trump cult personality derangement syndrome on beautiful display right there. That's hilarious. All right. Well, let me see if I can build the audience back up. Let's do another clip. That's hilarious, man. That is too much. Okay. Okay. Well, no, we just watched him. Now, here's another one. Let's do Tim Dillon. I've got some more Rick. Let's do Tim Dillon. Now, this is on Mediaite. I like this. Tim Dillon says Trump needs to come out and admit he faked the assassination attempt in Butler. And Kyle had just mentioned that this is out there. This is proof that Kyle, as a liberal, is not just making stupid stuff up. Now, Tim Dillon was another huge Trump fan. I cannot over-exaggerate that. Tim Dillon would have kissed Trump's feet and sucked his toes if Trump had told him to. He really would have. I'm serious. Now listen to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We hope you are well out there. Donald Trump, our president, is embroiled in a feud with many of his closest supporters. And I think he should change the subject. I am in the minority here, but let me come out and defend Trump right now. Can I defend him? Let me defend him. I don't care if he staged the assassination attempt at Butler. I don't care. I don't care, and I think he should admit it. I think he should admit it. I should change the subject. Stop talking about Iran. Just admit you staged it in Butler.
Yeah. Because this Iran war is going so goddamn bad, you've got to change the subject. Admit you faked the assassination or something, you know. Get those Epstein files open, because this war is killing you politically and morally. And man, you've got to change the subject. I think that is hilarious. Come on, that's funny. But Tim Dillon, again, another really huge MAGA influencer who has absolutely turned on Trump. He can't stand him. So I had to play that. Okay. Oh, that's funny. That's too much. Okay, let's look at another clip that I've got. I'm getting close, you guys. I hope I'm not boring you to death. I probably am. I don't mean to. But, this one. Yeah, this. Okay, Candace Owens. Now, this is the Pondering Politics site, and this guy is good. This guy is really good. Let me make sure you can see it. Yeah, okay, I've got it up. Sometimes I forget to push the button. Sorry. So, okay, here we go. Here's what Candace Owens says that's going to goggle you, man. This is astonishing.
And for clarity, Mr. President, that's not my fault. That's not Megyn Kelly's fault. That's not Tucker Carlson's fault. You made that trade. You chose money above respect. And what an absolute shame that you chose to do that toward the end of your life. Okay, because you can't take money and things and stuff with you when you go, just your soul. And you sold yours for what? Another gilded ballroom? Let me be perfectly clear when I say this. Charlie Kirk, he died free. You will most certainly die a slave. Okay. And for
damn, Candace.
Trump's not going to like that kind of straight talk, because she didn't praise him. She didn't say, you're going to die a slave and you're going to make world history and people will love you. Yeah, she just stopped it right there. This gets better. Candace Owens is brutal. She is shooting straight here. This is amazing.
Candace Owens, wildly successful polemicist, conspiracy theorist, right-wing commentator, and until quite recently, a MAGA commentator, went for the proverbial jugular in one of her latest Candace Owens episodes against Donald Trump, accelerating and exacerbating their back and forth feud. As you know, Trump went apeshit on Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly quite recently. Candace Owens, as you're about to see in multiple clips, hits him where it hurts and even invokes the name of Charlie Kirk to do it. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, folks, I am happy to share these clips with you. Remember, here's my policy on the MAGA Civil War, and I believe it should be your policy as well. You don't have to root for any of them. Fuentes, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, they're all terrible people who have aided and abetted this fascist cult of personality to one extent or another over the years. They all suck. But it is better for all of us, you and I, if they're fighting. because otherwise they're more formidable. Think of the reach and the audience and the power and the platform of all these top MAGA podcasters. If they're going at each other's throats and also attacking Donald Trump, and Trump's wasting time attacking on them, that's good. That's better than all of them as a united front. So continue to stir the pot, share it, no matter who. Share Candace Owens attacking Trump one day, share Ben Shapiro attacking Candace Owens the next day. Keep that pot stirring. But with that in mind, let's jump into the clips.
Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, different instruments to be sure. But only a fool or someone under the express direction of one could have thought to hit send on what you published on Truth Social last night. And I think that we should read it together, Mr. President, shall we? Okay, here's what you wrote. You wrote, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They are stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too.
And once again, as far as a public argument between any of the former presidents of the United States of America and people who just simply disagree with them or their policies, I honestly don't know of any examples of them actually personally attacking individual people and saying they have low IQs. They are stupid people. But, you know, the man-child that wears the diaper for a necktie in the White House running the country right now, he does it all the time. It is such an astonishing contrast between how absolutely smooth, suave, intellectual, and shiningly intelligent Barack Obama delivered his knowledge compared to the gurgling shit that Trump spews out. The contrast cannot be more stark. But she's not done yet.
Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They are nut jobs, troublemakers, and they will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they can get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Okay, let's park it there. Right? Let's just chew on that portion right there first, because it is a stunning break from reality.
It is in some ways. Now I want to be clear. They all make some fair points about each other. Trump is right that they, particularly Candace Owens, and I would say Alex Jones, maybe make all of them to one extent or another, Alex Jones and Candace Owens at the top end, that they will say some of the most unhinged shit for the sake of it.
Yep.
Candace Owens is trying to beat Alex Jones in terms of like infamous right-wing conspiracy theory. She's like, hold my beer. I'm going to outdo you. So Trump's right about that. The problem, of course, is they were always like this, and Trump didn't give a damn as long as they were cultishly devoted to him. So this idea that he's going to hit them with it now is absurd, when it was those very sorts of characteristics that led them to you in the first place, and you were happy to exploit it or benefit from it. So your criticism is fair on that specific point, but it really doesn't land quite as well, knowing that they were always this way. This is nothing new. But let's hear what Candace Owens has to say about Trump's comments about her.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. For instance, Alex Jones, he is a complete creep. He is the moron, the man who got sued for way more money than he is worth, because he tortured those poor parents of the school that their children were murdered in by a gun shooter. And he called it all a hoax. I think it was Sandy Hook, if I remember right. I have not followed that story a lot. But Alex Jones tortured those poor grieving parents for years. So he deserves all of the shit he gets. And yet his criticisms about Trump are really spot on. But that doesn't mean I like Alex Jones, because I do not like Alex Jones. So this is interesting. I'm going to be curious to see what she says Trump means. And then we'll move on to another clip. But yeah, she's not exactly without problems either. Oh, man, I didn't add that on stage, did I? I'm sorry. Hold on. I apologize. See, that's why I should have double checked. I will rewind that and play that back, because this is powerful. This is really good what she says. I apologize. Okay, hold on. It's only just a couple of minutes. Crap, that's a way to... Okay, let me make sure she's showing. Sorry. Yeah, well, I'm being a nut. Hey, Robert Nunley, how you doing? UFO Busters of Australia. I see all you guys. Eric Red, yep. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me try this again. Yeah, because her point is very good. It's worth... I appreciate you waiting.
Yeah, but let's hear what Candace Owens has to say about Trump's comments about her.
So I'll ask the question. Do you have any idea why it was, Mr. President, that your old tweets, the sentences you used to say, which were typically definitely insults back in 2015, but do you ever wonder why they worked? I can help you. Ready? It's because they were rooted in some element of truth. Okay. So if you called Rosie O'Donnell unattractive, or when you said Hillary Clinton should be in prison, it played to the crowd, because although many people thought it was inappropriate and beneath the dignity of a politician, it was based in truth, right? Hillary Clinton's done some things. Now, you can call Megyn Kelly a great many things. I have definitely had my political disagreements with her over the years. Low IQ? Really? Tucker Carlson, low IQ? Me, low IQ? The three of us unsuccessful somehow? When you write stuff like that, you just demonstrate nothing but your own irrationality. It just doesn't land. Nobody cares about them anymore. Really? You're the leader of the free world and you're tweeting about us. I think that means somebody cares.
Very valid point. He's living rent-free, or they are living rent-free, rather, in the head of the most powerful man in the world. Yeah. It's the same thing I've said about friend of the show and friend of mine, Jessica Tarlov. You know, he routinely insults her and attacks her publicly. It's kind of a badge of honor. I mean, I'm sure it's scary as hell, again, given that he is the most powerful person on earth and a deranged lunatic at the head of a cult of deranged lunatics. On the other hand, it reveals your power over him. He's obsessed with the people who criticize him because he's a thin-skinned, malignant narcissist.
And my small 2 cents worth is that expecting Trump to see the irony or the logic of her response is asking too much of him. It genuinely is. We've learned through, really, truly, without exaggeration, hundreds of examples, first in his first term as well as in his second term, that Trump projects onto others what he himself is either guilty of or else what he is or else what he lacks. And that is so obvious to the whole world. Now, the interesting thing is something different happened, with this second term, with Donald Trump's second term. Because the world is no longer acquiescing. They're no longer afraid of his bully tactics because they recognize he's Taco Man. He threatens action and chickens out. He's a fake bully. He's mouthy about it. He can sound really tough, but he doesn't follow through. So every time he's told someone, well, they're low IQ, we know that's a projection. Well, I passed an IQ test. It was really the world's hardest test. And it was really impressive because I aced it. And I took it 3 times. Aced it every time. Nobody else has ever done that. No other president in the United States history has ever done that. And so I am truly the smartest. We know that's all just bullshit. We really genuinely do. Except for those who are brainwashed in the Trump cult personality derangement syndrome. They're the sick ones. That's interesting, isn't it? So, okay, that's enough of her. Just wanted to give you a flavor. Okay, now let's see. How long have I gone? Am I boring you guys too much, or do you want some more? I've got a lot more. I really do. I have a lot I can share with you. Well, I got 5 or 6 more. Do you want me to keep going? I will. Let me while you let me know in the comments. Let me bring up another one because this one really is good. It's crazy. Yeah, this one is incredible. This one is truly incredible. Okay, this is worth listening to. Here we go.
We're trying to win the war on social media, and we're not even doing that because do you have the Lego thing up? Can you get that Lego video? We're not even winning the shit-talking war.
But Bibi's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold. We're not just fighting for Iran. Hear this clear. Your people reached out to us.
Donald Trump is fighting and losing a war on all sides, folks, including domestically here at home among his MAGA base.
I don't want to be at your cool, corrupt kid, Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein class table. Thank you so much for delineating that I'm not with you, a sinking, burning ship.
And this chaos, very similarly to that in Iran, was all started on Trump's own accord by him and is now blowing up in his face.
Well, I've had some people lately telling me I have a low IQ.
Ooh, shots fired. Who's been telling you that?
Well, some people online have been telling me that, like the president.
And as bad and humiliating as all of these clips that I've compiled for you are, they are also incredibly cathartic. So please, drop a like and subscribe to join the Really American Resistance if you love seeing MAGA tear themselves apart. And let's start here with Candace Owens' compilation of former Trump allies disavowing and criticizing him as the tarnishing of his legacy continues.
All right. I've noticed a lot of the podcasters say this, and for whatever reason, it just skips my mind because I'm not all about, I got to have 200 million viewers and I've got to have 8 billion subscribers in order to do this and know that I'm helping someone or whatever. But if you do like my program, do hit the like and subscribe and share it with people so that they can come and enjoy it too. Again, my philosophy is very simple. Sometimes I don't succeed. I mean, I am human, but I just want to find out what's real. I want to find out the truth. And that means I do look at all sides. I fail miserably at it, probably more than I should. I can't help it. I'm human, but I always try to get at what is real and true. And I am more than happy to correct myself when I get something really stupidly wrong and I catch it or someone points it out to me, right? So it's all good. But this is the compilation that I really wanted to make myself. I'm doing my own tonight, and I think I'm doing okay. You're getting a lot of good info tonight, but let's keep watching this. This is incredible.
And though I highly doubt that you will be permitted any opportunity to see what the crowd now thinks of you, I have to do my best to try. So here you are. Take a listen.
I don't know who's whispering to this guy's ear like freaking Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, but they're telling you wrong stuff, bro. Half of the people that I grew up with in this movement are not on Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin's team, okay? We aren't neocons. We aren't war hawks. We want America first. And if you make me choose between America first and MAGA, it's America first all day. That's what MAGA was supposed to be. You were just the best vessel for it, bro. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, it is absolutely crazy to see America first right-wingers going woke in one eye on Donald Trump. And
I am so envious that he came up with that and I didn't. Woke in one eye on Donald Trump. Oh, that is a t-shirt, man. Come on, that is a t-shirt. I have got to make that t-shirt. That was phenomenal. He's not done yet, but oh my God, that was fabulous. Oh man. Okay, let's keep going on this. MAGA is in deep trouble, justifiably so.
Candace has a ton more, including from people like Alex Jones, that we'll come back to in a second. But just to drive the point home, you even had right-wing comedian Tim Pool laughing and dancing along to the Iranian AI meme that I showed in a video last week.
So we've lost. There's nowhere to go. It's checkmate. We're trying to win the war on social media, and we're not even doing that because do you have the Lego thing up? Can you get that Lego video? We're not even winning the shit-talking war. We're not even winning that. The shit talk? You think America would win that? At least. If we're going to win one thing, we're getting bodied by Iranian AI in the war of shit talk. Truly. How embarrassing. We're the country that invented shit talk and we're getting lit up. Take a look.
Orange pig. America first? Oops. Oh boy, that was the slogan you sold. But Bibi's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold. We're not just fighting for Iran. Hear this clear. Your people reached out to us. Yeah, we got the DMs here. If one nation's gonna stand against the Epstein regime's fear, it's us till the last breath. We've been doing it for years. They lied to you.
I mean, we're not even winning that. We're losing that. I mean, it's unbelievable. God.
But as bad as he is, as corrupt as he's gotten, the insider trading, all of it, I'm really glad he's differentiating and saying, you're not with me, because I'm not with you. I don't want to be at your cool, corrupt kid, Howard Lutnick, Jeffrey Epstein class table. Thank you so much for delineating that I'm not with you, a sinking, burning ship. He wasn't loyal to his original mission. He wasn't loyal to America, and he became a creature of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu, and all of his Never Trumper enemies are now the courtiers with the madness of King Lear, telling him the lies and worshiping him the way he wants to hear it, and I am not one of those people.
Don't fight it, Donnie. We've been bonded since the 90s. We don't want those tapes to come out now, do we? Call Tucker low IQ. Tell them that Candace is unattractive. Oh, and call Alex Jones a nut job.
I've given you war. I've given you chaos. I've done everything you've asked me to.
Asked? Silly Donnie. I don't ask. Maybe it's me. He's gone. I'm in charge now. You'll get everything. The wars, the money, all of it. Now about these tapes.
This proves one of many things.
They're right. We are not winning the shit talking wars. That is just Godfrey, man. Someone is so creative and intelligent with all of this, because isn't it weird that it's this kind of stuff that actually gets across, rather than the politicians sitting and talking and discussing it in calm, rational manners or whatever, The actual reality and truth comes across better with that kind of a media. Isn't that astonishing? That is really crazy. That's interesting. Okay, I'm not done yet. Yeah, you're welcome. I this is some fascinating stuff. I'm not done yet. I promise. Yes, I have more Lego videos too.
The first thing, he shouldn't be in office anymore. Implement the 25th. He's not loyal to this country, and he's not loyal to anybody. Well, except for that little country in the Middle East. It's almost like he does what he's told. And the last president to tell that little country no was JFK, and we all know what happened to him. It's like, Donald Trump, how can you call them losers when you lose to Bibi Netanyahu in Israel every single day? When's the last time you told them no to anything?
He said Brigitte Macron is far more beautiful than Candace Owens.
All I can say is he's blind.
That's all across the internet. Take your pick, left and right. People understand that message was really your basket of deplorables moment. I mean, even on Truth Social, your very own platform, they've turned on you. Let's go through just some of these responses, okay?
And for me personally, the value of researching all of this stuff out for tonight's live, I did not realize that they were turning against Donald Trump in the comments to his comments on his Truth Social. See, that's how out of touch I am personally, because there ain't no way I am going to subscribe to that dolt on his Truth Social to hear what he has to say. No, I am not interested. I have far better ways to spend my time, right? I mean, this is my justification. But listen to some of these comments of people who worship this man now that he's betrayed them. He lied to them. He told everyone. This is what is so crazy. He told everyone, all I want you for is your vote. Really, he did. He just came right out and dropped it on. All I want you for is your vote. That's all you're good for. And they gave it to him. I promise you this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this on day one, and I'm going to do this on day one, and I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this on day one. And in their cult of personality derangement syndrome, they actually believed him. And he hasn't done any of it. It's amazing, isn't it? Listen to these comments. These comments will blow your mind. This was a revelation to me. Wow. Very encouraging, in my opinion. People are waking up, man.
What? You are way out of line. Most of these people, especially Alex Jones, have been your day ones. That's correct. Just to remind you, Trump, when no one would have you on, when no media company would have you on, Alex Jones had you on his show. Continue. You need to take a step back and take a good hard look at who is whispering in your ear and get back to America first. Next person, Trump, you are just going against everyone that fought for him to win just because of the Epstein files and being at war with Iran for Israel. They didn't leave MAGA. MAGA left them. Clearly, you are insane. Time to resign, Donald, or face the 25th. You are mentally and emotionally unfit to be POTUS. You are so childish. Clearly, the truth has triggered you, being one of your biggest supporters. I am done with you and your lies. Look at the mess that you have gotten our country into by bending the knee to a monster. I could go on, but I have to say that when I was looking online, in my view, what was the most brutal and sadly a recurring response all across social media was this. Take a look at this tweet about Charlie. People were saying that Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. Like I said, many people said that in different ways. Charlie would be on this list if they hadn't killed him. So you should probably take a second to fully absorb what is being implied there. What is being implied there is that there is no truth and there is no loyalty within you.
Yeah, absolutely brutal across the board. Although that last line from Candace Owens is a little hypocritical given how quickly and vehemently these people have turned on Donald Trump. Alex Jones went so far as to getting this other far-right like content creator comedy guy in on a sketch to make fun of Donald Trump's low IQ statement. Check.
Yeah, that is fascinating. So the Civil War is in full blown now, and the crazy thing is, how long has it been? Maybe 2 months when Sean Ryan began to enunciating and elaborating, saying this is wrong, and the Congress is lying to us. The DOJ is lying to us, and they're not doing their job, and they're covering for Trump's lack of success. And now Sean Ryan is pretty much full-blown anti-MAGA. But he's one of those who put Donald on his show and helped usher him into the White House, right? We've been talking for 12 years, you guys, and you did nothing but mock. And we told you, billionaires don't care about you. I'm going to tell you another truth. They never will. Billionaires don't care about you, man. I'm just saying. Come on. Wakey, wakey, wakey. Let's go. Come on. Chop, chop. I promise if Americans really stupidly put in another draft dodging, non-military billionaire president, you're gonna get fucked again. Now it's April 12th, 2026. I fully expect everyone in my audience watching this tonight to, if this happens, then it will happen that the billionaire screws us over some more. And I fully expect you guys to be able to come back on here and say, holy cow, dude, you really did say so. Because I'm right. I'm right. I'm not bragging. I'm right. Billionaires don't care about anyone but themselves. I promise. I so promise. Come on, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's get with it. America, we're better than this. The billionaires do not have your interest in mind. I swear to God. Name any God you worship. I'll swear on that God's name. The billionaires don't care about what you want, what you need, what you wish for. You're not in their club. You're not in the equation. They don't care if you starve to death. They don't care if you're 3-year-old precious child starves to death. Time to wake up. Really, sincerely. So let's do another clip. Hold on. Yeah, let's do another clip. I've got a couple more of these that are really important, that are quite good. Hit the wrong button there. I said invite guest. I don't have a guest to invite. However, I do have a screen to share. Okay. All righty. Let's see. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, fed up, horrified Americans. Oh, well, this is good. I know we've heard a little bit from Rick Fuentes, but this one is really critically important as well. This is another angle on his being fed up. And here we go.
This is the same thing that I have been saying from the beginning. From the beginning of this show, since the 2024 election, about Trump. And it is this: take your own side. Why are people loyal to Trump? Why would you be loyal to Trump? Do you not see who this person is? Trump is not a loyal person. He isn't, and never has been, ever. Hello? When will people wake up and realize this is not a loyal person? Trump is a treacherous person and always has been. Look at all of Trump's closest allies over the past 10 years. People like Jeff Sessions, people like Ann Coulter, people in the Trump organization. How many people have gotten involved with Trump? They were the first to endorse him, like Sessions, like Ann Coulter. How many people got sued, like Bannon, like Mike Flynn, like his campaign manager, whose name I forget right now? How many of these people got involved with Trump, lost everything, sacrificed everything on his behalf, were destroyed, only to be discarded, only to be backstabbed, thrown under the bus? It happens over and over again. And this is just what you come to expect with Trump.
So why didn't you listen to us when we told you this? Don't re-elect him the second time. Now, it's very nice that it's him saying that, because me, I'm a nobody. I'm just a biased libtard or whatever name. He has Trump derangements. Make up a stupid label or whatever just to dismiss the information. But with Rick Fuentes, you right-wingers, you MAGA people, he's you. He's one of you. He is one of you. And he's telling you what we have been saying for 12 years, 12 long years. And guess what's interesting? His lack of loyalty, Trump's, has been proven on a nationwide scale now. Otherwise, why is MAGA so upset? How come we're even having this MAGA civil war if Trump had been loyal to you? Has he fulfilled his promises to you? I said in another video, and it cost me more subscribers than any video I've made in 3 months. And I'm going to say it again because it is the truth. Listen carefully. You Trump voters, you maggots, you people who believe in Donald Trump and his promises are not getting any discounts of the higher gas prices that your fucking president caused. It's 2026. Screw blaming Joe Biden. Donald Trump in this term promised to lower prices. We are in 2026. This is Donald Trump's doing. I can promise you guys, you're not getting any breaks in the grocery stores either. None of us are getting breaks in the clothing stores either. And none of us are getting to go out to eat in any kind of cheaper restaurant. The price of the food for eating out is terrifying, man. It really is. You aren't getting any breaks by saying, hey, I'm special. I'm the exception. Hey, woohoo. I voted for Donald Trump. I should get a discount. You're not, are you? No. Did your rent go up? I'm willing to bet it did. Do you fly? Do you travel? I just saw it today. And thank you, Robert Nunley. Appreciate that. Thank you for your support. Very good. I just saw it today, you guys. I promise none of you maggots are going to get out of this either. They upped the price of checking your first bag on any airline flight. And they upped the price on checking the second bag also. And jet fuel has quadrupled in price per barrel. Quadrupled. And I promise you, you MAGA people, you're not going to get to the ticket house in the airport and say, hey, I'm special. My Lord God and Savior is Donald Trump. I voted for him. I should get the old price. And I promise you're not going to. Donald Trump lied to you. Donald Trump lied to me. Donald Trump has lied to America. Donald Trump has lied to the world because, like Rick Fuentes, quite frankly, properly says, he is not loyal. He's a billionaire. I promise billionaires don't care about you. They really don't. Mark Zuckerberg bought a $400 million yacht so that he could go play on the ocean. Did any of you MAGAs get one? Do you really think you're going to for, say, a birthday present or a Christmas present from a billionaire? Say no, please. I promise they aren't going to give you shit. They'll give you higher taxes. They're going to take away your Medicare. They're going to take away your Medicaid. They're going to take away your health insurance. They're going to take away your daycare. How much more are we going to let these motherfucking billionaires steal from us too? How much more do you need to lose? How much more do you need to lose? Do you need to get kicked out of your house? Do you have to give up driving your automobiles? Do you need to lose all your jobs? Do you need to lose your lives before you wake up? How much longer? I'm just asking. Because have you noticed something interesting? He put a little bit of bait, chum, on the hook and threw it out to America. And he made damn good sure he signed the check. I'm going to give every American $2,500 check. And he did. I got mine too. That was years ago. That was to convince you, oh, hey, we're at the party. We're in the club. And ever since then, he has literally taken you to the cleaners. We are being landslided out of our freedoms. You know, I'm just saying. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't give you his Meta glasses for free, does he? Well, I mean, he put what? Almost 70 billion into it for research. Do you think you're going to buy them at a discount? You think you're really going to get them for $100 because, hey, I'm a Republican like you. Hey, you know, you're a billionaire and I'm a poor guy, but you ought to be nice to me and, you know, give me one of those for my birthday present. Good luck with that. No, really, seriously, good luck. Now, I'm getting a pair because my daughter bought me a pair because of her work with Audible. And so I'm going to be fortunately being able to wear them. I'll try to wear them while I'm doing it. I'm going to look like a nerd. I'm going to go from looking old to looking like a nerd, but they're really cool glasses. They really do some interesting things. I'm looking forward to having them. I'll get mine here in about a week or two. So I'm fortunate that way, as I'm getting mine as a gift from my daughter. So, you know, I mean, I could go on and rant and rave forever, and I don't mean to, because it's crazy. Every time I start ranting and raving, the audience starts picking up. Maybe I should scream and swear and cuss and shout more. I can see it now. Someone's going to take that section of this video out and say, look, the backyard professor has gone completely nuts. Oh, shucks. Oh, hey. There's more here I want to share with you. All right, let's get back on topic. Okay, let's see what Nick properly says more.
It's the scorpion and the frog. You can't take it personally. You can't hold it against him. It's in his nature. It's what he does. He stings these people. And you don't have to be mad about it, and you don't have to moralize about it, but you recognize this is a person in politics. He is not our friend. He is not the savior of Western civilization. He's not God. He's
okay, hold it. There's hope. This is a blood red maggot. And he's saying what I have said. Hey. Now, I got news for you. That particular, you know, few pieces of information that Rick Fuentes just told us is not said by Maga or any of the Trump administration. So that must mean that the liberals have said that. And now that Rick Fuentes doesn't feel like he has to lie about Donald Trump, but he can let the truth out because Donald Trump has been disloyal to him and he's offended, properly so, I might add. And so he can tell the truth. He starts using liberal talking points and evidences. Don't you find that a little bit more than coincidental? I do. Because we know Donald Trump is immoral. We are talking about a very, very evil man. And immorality is his core. And anyone who defends him accepts that. Which makes you wonder what they are, doesn't it? So when they quit defending him and supporting him and believing in him, all of a sudden they start spouting moral ideas. Isn't that interesting? They go from the immoral right to the moral left. There's a lesson in there somewhere. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. Nick is not done yet. I'm going to rewind that just a little because that's worth repeating, because that's what I've said several times.
And this is just what you come to expect with Trump. It's the scorpion and the frog. You can't take it personally. You can't hold it against him. It's in his nature. It's what he does. He stings these people. And you don't have to be mad about it, and you don't have to moralize about it, but you recognize this is a person in politics. He is not our friend. He is not the savior of Western civilization. He's not God. He's not your boss. He's not your dad. He's a politician. He's a billionaire. He is a billionaire. He is a politician. And this extraordinary movement that he has built, historic as it is, and maybe at one point had noble intentions, always was there to enrich and benefit him. That was always the program.
He said it opposite of what I said, but we're both saying the same thing. I don't think the billionaires care about you at all. And what he's saying is all of the billionaires' followers' only reason for being liked by the billionaire is so that you can give him everything you have and are. Your time, your talent, and most important, your money.
And we thought we would get something out of it. This movement obviously edified the president to an extraordinary degree. Trump was in this arguably from the beginning for his own legacy, for his own aggrandizement. What was the purpose of the MAGA movement? Trump wanted another jewel in his crown. He wanted another feather in his cap. It wasn't enough to be a billionaire. It wasn't enough to put his name on a skyscraper or 10 of them. It wasn't enough to have the biggest game show on NBC and be a celebrity and the rest of it. He wanted to leave his mark on history. He wanted to be like those people in the history documentaries he watches. He wanted to be the leader.
Yeah, but now.
And you notice who's left out because you're just being used by the billionaire. You have no value other than to give to him. Literally. I'm saying, as a liberal, that him, the billionaire, is wrong. We all have extremely powerful value. And we would do well to remember that and associate with each other in love and brotherhood so that we build each other up and the billionaires can go off and get on their $1 trillion yachts and sail the world, etc. Because we have a lot more in common than they do. But to put them in ultimate power is utterly foolish suicide for all of the world. And we know at this point that I'm not speaking hyperbolic, because the rest of the world is screaming at America to get rid of Donald Trump. He is destroying the world. And if we don't, then they will. But in that process, we do not keep our freedom because they will take over the country as well. So you see, it really is imperative that we understand we are in grave danger here, really, and we have to act. Not next week. It's here for real. We got to get with it. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. because now there's two powers more powerful than us because of Donald Trump, China and Russia. If that doesn't make you nervous, you haven't been paying attention, I'm sorry to say. So anyway, Nick Fuentes. Okay, let's do another one. I've got a lot more. I really do. I really put a lot of stuff together because I want to give you something that's helpful, that's useful. Oh my gosh, I'm after 2 hours. I really have to. I gotta. Let's see. Here's the one that's amazing. We're going to go back to Kyle because here's what Maga is saying about Donald Trump. Here is what Maga is saying about Donald Trump. You ready for this?
So, guys, it finally happened. As you all know, Alex Jones made a hard turn on Trump. And I think it had to do with the fact that, his business was just collapsing in on himself. It was totally untenable, right? Like there was this big split among MAGA pundits. And you had, the Candace Owens types, Tucker Carlson, fucking Megyn Kelly, Nick Fuentes. They're all like more Trump critical, or certainly critical of the Iran war, critical of Israel, right? But then you have the Laura Loomers and the Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros, and they're not. And like Alex rode hard for Trump. I mean, he was meat munching to the max, y'all. But clearly now Trump's at 33% approval rating. He's just, everybody hates him. Any reasonable person hates him. You have to be a total Kool-Aid drinking freak to still support him. And so Alex realized, okay, I got to finally make a fucking move. So he did. But look at how quick the turn hit. Like it was a hard break because now look at this. He posts, exclusive. Alex Jones responds to Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes saying that Trump could be the Antichrist.
Now understand that Kyle is laughing in complete disbelief because he's agnostic. But recognize the infuriating position here that puts Trump's followers in, because they're taking that seriously, for real. And that is extremely damaging, because if there's one thing Trump cares about a lot more than any of his MAGA followers, and especially those of us who have never voted for him, is his image. He wants an image, a good one, a powerful one. Well, it's going to be the greatest war in the history of the world. A lot of people are going to talk about this. Oh, everybody's going to talk about this because this is the greatest war. And we have the greatest army. We have the greatest Navy. We're the greatest military power in the whole world. We're the greatest military power that the world has ever seen, etc. He wants everything to be centered around him, to be absolutely fantastically great, including the religious element, because most of MAGA are Christians and or Mormons. And for a former really important, influential MAGA person to turn on Trump and call him the Antichrist, that's fighting words. Kyle will laugh, and you and I might say, well, what's the big deal? You're misunderstanding. It is a gigantic deal because there are commanders in 13 different armed services units who have told the soldiers in this war that Donald Trump has been anointed by Jesus Christ in person to bring about Armageddon, the final war. And they bitterly complained about those commanders saying that, but they didn't stop them, they didn't reprimand them, and they didn't remove them. That's their mindset in the military. So this is very serious. Donald Trump thinks he's Jesus Christ's prophet, and he's doing God's work by killing innocent people. Do you not see where that can go wrong into the ugliest train wreck the world has ever seen? He just threatened to annihilate 90 million people. That's why this is serious. So I get it. In a way, Kyle's kind of laughing in a mocking way. I'm not. There's nothing here to mock. There's everything here to attempt to correct and re-educate the poor Maga people who have been brainwashed into the Trump personality cult derangement syndrome. They are our fellow brothers and sisters after all. What they lack is education. Because Trump said it himself. And I made a video of this about a week ago. He came out on camera. We have the evidence. It's on camera. Look it up if you think. I'm not making this up. Trump literally said, well, I like surrounding myself with stupid people because it makes me feel smart and special. So I completely surround myself with stupid people. And he was looking Pete Hegseth in the eye when he said that. Well, what about all you MAGA followers? You're stupid people, according to your Lord God and Savior, special anointed prophet, Donald J. Trump. Thank you for paying attention to this important matter. Pretty astonishing. Yeah? Wow. Now listen, and I've seen some people in my comment section. Several dear friends here. You know who you are. I used to be Mormon. So did they. And I guarantee you, we were in the same boat the maggots are right now. We too were brainwashed into a systematic cult that kept you there. So I get it. I wasn't politically brainwashed. I was religiously and psychologically and spiritually brainwashed. So it's real, but there's hope that it's not final, because I am no longer in a cult, but several people are. 70 million. Technically, probably not that much now, because thank God, Trump really made some serious, fatal, stupid blunders and errors in this war to show that he is not all that special, holy, and anointed. He actually is the most disloyal, larger than Hitler mass murderer, intentional guy that exists on our planet right now. And it's serious. We have to stop this man. So there's that angle. Anyway, let's see. Let me do one more. Oh, I'm 2.5 hours, you guys. Really, seriously. Yeah, and he's so arrogant that he comes out with his Donald Trump edition of the Bible. Are you kidding me, man? Really? That doesn't embarrass you? The Donald Trump edition, the sex offender, the rapist? Really? And you buy that thing? He's never bothered to read. He doesn't even realize there's 4 gospels in the New Testament. Absolutely mind-boggling, man. So yeah, we got some issues we can work on together as a collective American humanity grouping, not left versus right. Fuck Donald J. Trump's division. It's not blue versus. Fuck Donald Trump's ideology. It's not MAGA versus. It's not conservative versus liberal. Quit letting him divide us. He's the billionaire. He has no, you know how he can take away our freedoms. You know how he can rise prices on all of us is if he convinces us that we are the enemies horizontally while he's the good guy, and he can continue manipulating the stock markets, making tens of billions of dollars, him and his family. Have you, MAGA people, been able to make several tens of millions of dollars in the stock market this last 2 weeks? Have you? Has Donald Trump helped you do that? No, of course not. He does it only for himself because he's a billionaire. Come on, the time has to come pretty quick where you actually do wake up and see the reality here. He is leaving us Americans high and dry, and he is making billions of dollars by manipulating the stock market with his words. That's not me as a disgruntled liberal who has Trump derangement syndrome. That's the analysis of everyone looking at the stock market and the politicians and the economists, etc. Both liberal and conservative, both Republican and Democrat. Everyone is seeing what Donald, I'm going to rip you off blind, J. Trump is doing, except MAGA. And they're so convinced that anybody who says anything bad about holy Donald J. Christ Trump has Trump derangement syndrome. They're going to take everything from you, including your dirty underwear, and they're going to turn around and sell it and make money, and you going to be left naked. And you'll still praise him. That's why we don't take the movement serious at all either. So what are you going to do when he asks you for your daughters? You really mean to tell me you're going to let him have them? Really? Good luck. Good luck, man. So anyway, okay, you guys, look, this has been a lot of fun for me. It's been interesting. It's been intriguing because there's just so much, and there is so much more on this MAGA Civil War. I'll keep, if you're interested in this, I'll keep talking about it periodically. It's much more interesting to look at the world affairs, actually, but just recognize and understand that things are not all well in Zion or Zionism in the world. But yeah, the golden age that Trump ushered in, that's fake news. The debt relief and the high cost of living, all of that's fake news. We're in a war that's going to cost us trillions in reparations and trillions just to build up our ammunition and weapons again. Hopefully China or Russia won't take us over before then. You laugh now and tell me I'm ignorant of geopolitics. We'll see. I hope to God I'm wrong. I really do. I personally like my freedom. I like knowing that all of my friends and neighbors have their freedom too. But there's a lot of people in America who don't like that because they don't understand the cost of slavery. And I don't think it's right that they drag us into something we don't want. And so we're going to fight. Because again, I'll close on this note. Our loyalty is to the Constitution of the United States of America. That is the law of our land, not to any president, not to any congressman or any congresswoman, not to any senator, not to any cop, not to anyone in America. Our loyalty is to supporting the law for all Americans and the Bill of Rights, which gives us our freedoms. We love having the freedoms to bear arms and have guns. If Trump ever declares that we can't have guns again, I will give the reply of the president of the NRA, Charlton Heston, when he was alive and president of the NRA. You can have my gun out of my cold, dead hands. So that's how that works, right? But we want to protect all of our freedoms. The freedom of speech. It is not criminal to argue and disagree. Donald Trump has said that, and he's spreading fake news. That's nowhere in the Constitution. It is nowhere in the Bill of Rights. There is no law saying you must agree with your president or you are breaking the law. That's bullshit. Show me in the Constitution where that is. So, we're at that point. Okay, you guys, thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for being here tonight with me. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great week. I will be back with more videos as I have time. There's going to be a lot of new news this coming up week. Now that the ceasefire and the peace talks failed, Donald Trump found a very convenient way to throw J.D. Vance under the bus. That's good because he wouldn't make a good president either. No one in this administration should. Not Marco Rubio, not any of them. I have no idea who the Democrats are going to try to put in. I really wish we weren't a two-party system. I wish the independents could find someone valuable because I don't see anything good coming out of the Democrats either yet. I don't see anything on the horizon. I'm terrified for our future. That's just me. So anyway, I'll keep you in touch. I'll keep in touch with you on the news. I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of new fighting and all that jazz coming up now. So it's going to stay ugly for a while, doggone it. I'm afraid more people are going to die unnecessarily for this raving lunatic madman who is the deranged syndrome man. The one who is deranged is Donald J. Trump. Don't let the maggots convince you you are, because you're man and woman enough to stand up and speak truth to power. See you tomorrow.